So, beginning with the purpose of SQL tuning, you might think this is ridiculous. Yeah, we need to tune SQL so it runs fast. Well, you need to be a bit more precise than that. In particular, we must emphasize that you always must aim your tuning at a real business problem. A real business problem. It's got to be something measurable that's costing you or your users time and therefore money. Real examples. For example, your overnight batch jobs don't finish till lunchtime. Perhaps there are reports that are just too slow, take far too long to run. Perhaps screen refreshes are too slow. Real business problems. It's no good just having end users saying the database is slow. That's no good at all. You have to identify a real problem in business terms. That means something you can measure. And the best measure is response time as perceived by the user. As perceived by the user. What do I mean by that? Well, you issue a SQL statement. Any old statement you want. Select star from emp. And you hit return, and bang, back comes the data. How long did it take? You need a real response time measure. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Wall clock time as seen by the user. There are any number of metrics in a database that people get upset about. Don't worry about them. I'm sure some of you have heard the term compulsive tuning disorder, CTD. It was a chap called Krishna Vaidyanatha invented it many years ago, and it's become very popular. It's supposed to be funny. Well, I guess it was funny when Gaja first invented it. It's a useful concept, though, the idea of compulsive tuning disorder. The way he described it is that many DBAs waste a phenomenal amount of time thinking they're doing useful work, when in fact they're just fiddling around, wasting energy. As an example, let's take a look at a performance tuning report, just one that I happen to have permission to use at the moment. This is an automatic workload repository, an AWR report. We'll look at a couple in these 2 hours. And one of the major sections of the report is what we call the wait events. A wait event is something that causes a statement or a session or indeed the whole, sorry, Monica, I don't quite understand what it is you want raised. Are you saying if you want me to raise to improve the font or something, I certainly can do. And thank you, by the way, for putting in a question, Monica. It's always nice to know that someone really is watching and seeing what we're trying to achieve. I'm going to make that font a bit bigger, though. That is a bit awkward to read. If we look at, maybe that was what you meant. Wait events. A wait event is something that causes a statement or a session, or perhaps the entire instance, to hang. Right. Now, looking at this report here, we find that the worst wait event was something called log file sync. And it cost me 39% of my DB time. And a DBA will look at that and think, gosh, that's terrible, I've got to fix it. No, you haven't. You don't have to fix that at all. That would be a perfect example of compulsive tuning disorder. You see that figure, or that figure there, and you don't like it. What you have to think of is that no end user has ever telephoned the help desk to complain that log file sync weights are too high. These are the sort of things they telephone the help desk to complain about. In this particular case, by the way, I had a bit of spare time to have a look at what it was, and that log file sync was to do with commit processing for entries into an audit log table. Of no interest to end users whatsoever. It was just a background logging process that was hitting that problem. Ignore it. Totally meaningless. You have to concentrate on real business problems. Of course, it might be that wait event was being experienced by end user code. It might be that that wait event is why the overnight batch jobs don't finish till lunchtime. And then you need to address it. But the problem is not the log file sync. It's not the NQTX index contention. It's not the buffer busy waits. The problem is the business issue you identify here. So always remember that. Aim your tuning at a real business problem, not just trying to reduce some metric that you don't like.